Ladies and gentlemen, think about this moment in your life, right here, right now. How often do you find yourself wanting more but failing to act? How often does the idea of your potential excite you, only to have the pull of old habits and self-doubt hold you back? You see, the mind is like a record on repeat. It plays the same songs of fear, laziness, or procrastination until you become so familiar with the tune that it feels like who you are. But I'm here to tell you, that's not who you are. That's just the story you've been telling yourself. And today, we're going to rewrite it. The truth is, action doesn't start with circumstances, motivation, or even willpower. It starts with a decision, a bold, unapologetic decision to step into the unknown. Because let me tell you something powerful. The unknown is where growth lives. Your brain might resist because it craves the familiar, the comfortable, but comfort is the enemy of progress. You're not here to live the same day over and over, wishing for something better. You're here to create it. The secret to forcing yourself to take action is simple but profound. You must see your future as more real than your past. You must anchor your thoughts, your emotions, and your energy in the vision of who you want to be, not the limitations of who you've been. Imagine that future, feel it, see it clearly. What does it look like? Who are you in that vision? Now, understand this. Every time you take a step toward it, no matter how small, you're telling the universe and your own biology, this is who I am now. But let's get real. There's resistance, isn't there? That voice in your head that says, tomorrow, later, I'm not ready. Let me remind you of something. The moment you take action, that voice gets quieter. Action silences doubt. You don't need to be fearless to move forward. You just need to act in spite of fear. Start small, take one step, whether it's making a phone call, writing a single sentence, or putting on your shoes to go for a walk. That one act creates a ripple, and ripples build momentum. Suddenly, you're not thinking about taking action anymore, you're doing it. And here's the beauty of momentum. It transforms the hard into the effortless, the daunting into the doable. And when you feel yourself slipping, when the resistance starts creeping back in, tap into your why. Why must you do this? Not for someone else, not because it looks good, but because deep down, you know you were made for more. Let the power of that truth light a fire inside you. Stop waiting for permission. Stop waiting to feel ready. Ready is an illusion. Take the step, do the hard thing, break free from the loop of inaction, and step into your power. Because every time you take action, you're not just moving closer to your dreams, you're becoming the kind of person who makes them inevitable. So what will you choose today? Will you let the pull of the familiar hold you back? Or will you step boldly into the unknown, into the life you've always imagined? The choice is yours. Take the step, rewrite the story, force yourself into action, and watch the world transform before your eyes. Recognizing the gap between where you are and where you want to be is the foundation of all transformative action. This is the moment of awareness, the awakening to the reality of your current state and the possibilities that lie beyond it. Without this awareness, you're simply moving through life on autopilot, stuck in a loop of habitual patterns that feel safe and familiar, but ultimately limit your potential. To force yourself into action, you must first see the gap clearly, acknowledge it, feel it, and allow it to challenge you. This is not about judgment or self-criticism. It's about understanding where you are with honesty and compassion. Awareness is not passive, it is a deeply active state. It requires you to look at your life as it is right now without excuses, without the filters of denial or rationalization. Ask yourself, are you satisfied with where you are? Is this job, this relationship, this daily routine truly aligned with who you want to become? Often, we distract ourselves from these questions because they are uncomfortable. But discomfort is where growth begins. It's the tension between your present state and your future potential that generates the energy needed to move forward. If you don't feel that tension, if you numb it with distractions, excuses, or avoidance, action will remain elusive. To deepen this awareness, you need to confront the habits of thought and behavior that have kept you where you are. These habits operate like scripts running in the background of your mind, dictating your choices without you even realizing it. You might think, I don't have time, or I'm not good enough, or what if I fail? These thoughts are not facts. They are conditioned responses, rooted in fear and past experiences. But here's the key: once you become aware of these patterns, you can begin to break free from them. Awareness shines a light on the unconscious, making the invisible visible. Only then can you choose differently. Another critical aspect of awareness is understanding your resistance to change. Why haven't you acted yet? What's holding you back? Often it's fear of failure, fear of judgment, or even fear of success. But fear loses its grip when you bring it into the open, when you name it and face it head on. Avoiding fear gives it power. Confronting it gives you freedom. Awareness allows you to see your resistance for what it truly is, a protective mechanism designed to keep you in your comfort zone, even when that comfort zone no longer serves you. Awareness is also about connecting with your inner desire for something greater. It's about tapping into the part of you that knows you are capable of more, that dreams of a life filled with purpose, passion, and growth. This isn't about comparing yourself to others or chasing external validation. It's about aligning with your own vision of success and fulfillment. The more vividly you can see the gap between your current reality and that vision, the more motivated you will be to take action. Awareness is the spark that ignites the fire of change. Breaking the habit of being yourself means disrupting the patterns of thought, emotion, and behavior that keep you tethered to your current reality. Most people live their lives on autopilot, operating from a predictable script that has been shaped by their past experiences, beliefs, and environment. These patterns feel natural because they are familiar, but they also create a cycle that reinforces the same outcomes over and over again. If you want to take action and create meaningful change, you must first recognize that these habits are not who you are. They are simply a result of conditioning. To break free, you must consciously choose to become someone new. The habits that define you are not just physical actions. They are deeply embedded in your mind and body. Think about the thoughts you think every day. Most of them are the same as the day before. Those repeated thoughts trigger familiar emotions, and those emotions drive your behaviors. Over time, this cycle becomes so ingrained that it feels automatic, like it's just who you are. But it's not. It's who you've practiced being. This is both the challenge and the opportunity. If you've practiced one way of being, you can practice another. You can train yourself to think, feel, and act in ways that align with the person you want to become. And breaking the habit of being yourself begins with awareness. You must start noticing the patterns that dominate your life. What are the thoughts that hold you back? What emotions keep you stuck? What behaviors do you default to when you're faced with discomfort or uncertainty? Recognizing these patterns is the first step to changing them. Once you're aware, you can begin to interrupt them. This is where the work begins, because interrupting these patterns feels unnatural at first. Your mind and body will resist, pulling you back toward the familiar, even if the familiar is no longer serving you. To break these habits, you need to embrace discomfort. Change is inherently uncomfortable because it requires stepping into the unknown. The brain perceives the unknown as a threat, and it will attempt to pull you back into the safety of the known. But growth doesn't happen in the known. It happens when you're willing to challenge your limits and step beyond them. Each time you resist the pull of your old habits and choose a new thought, a new action, or a new response, you are rewiring your brain and reconditioning your body. Over time, the unfamiliar becomes familiar, and the new habits you create become your new normal. This process also requires intention. You must have a clear vision of the person you want to become and the life you want to create. This vision serves as your guiding star, pulling you forward when your old habits try to drag you back. When you align your thoughts and actions with this vision, you're not just breaking the habit of being yourself, you're creating a new version of yourself. Each small choice, each deliberate action builds momentum and reinforces your transformation. The more you practice this, the more natural it becomes, until one day you realize you're no longer forcing change, you're living it. Mastering your mind is the key to overcoming resistance and taking consistent, intentional action. The mind is a powerful tool, capable of shaping your reality and influencing your outcomes. But for many, it becomes an obstacle rather than an ally, filled with doubt, fear, and hesitation. To move forward and take action, you must learn to control your mind. instead of allowing it to control you. This mastery begins with understanding how your mind operates and learning to harness its power to serve your goals, not sabotage them. The mind operates through patterns. Every thought you think is part of a larger network of beliefs, assumptions, and memories. When you decide to take action, your mind often reacts by pulling from these familiar patterns, reminding you of past failures, imagined risks, or reasons to delay. These thoughts feel real and urgent, but they are often just your mind trying to maintain the status quo. The first step to mastering your mind is recognizing these automatic responses for what they are: habitual, not truthful. Awareness of these patterns gives you the power to disrupt them. Once you've identified the limiting thoughts, you can begin to replace them with empowering ones. The key is to focus your mind on the outcome you want rather than the obstacles you fear. Visualization is a powerful tool for this. When you imagine yourself succeeding, when you see and feel the end result in vivid detail, you train your brain to believe it's possible. This process strengthens neural pathways associated with success and weakens those tied to doubt and fear. Over time, this rewiring shifts your mindset from one of limitation to one of possibility. Mastering your mind also involves learning to manage your emotional state. Thoughts and emotions are deeply interconnected, and negative emotions like fear, anxiety, or frustration can cloud your thinking and prevent you from taking action. Instead of allowing these emotions to control you, practice observing them without judgment. Recognize that emotions are temporary and often arise from the stories your mind is telling you. By detaching from these stories, you can prevent them from dictating your actions. Techniques like deep breathing, mindfulness, and reframing can help you shift your emotional state and regain clarity. Another important aspect of mastering your mind is cultivating focus. The modern world is filled with distractions, and your attention is constantly being pulled in different directions. To take action, you need to train your mind to stay present and focused on the task at hand. This requires discipline and deliberate practice. Set clear priorities, eliminate unnecessary distractions, and create an environment that supports concentration. Over time, your ability to focus will strengthen, and you'll find it easier to take decisive action without being derailed by external or internal noise. Ultimately, mastering your mind is about taking responsibility for your thoughts. It's about recognizing that you have the power to choose what you focus on, how you interpret your circumstances, and how you respond to challenges. Your mind is not your enemy. It's your greatest ally when you learn to guide it. Every time you redirect a negative thought, anchor yourself in your vision, or choose focus over distraction, you're building the mental resilience needed to take action consistently. This mastery doesn't happen overnight, but with practice and intention, you can transform your mind from a source of resistance into a catalyst for growth and achievement. Anchoring yourself in a vision is one of the most powerful ways to push through resistance and take action. Without a clear and compelling vision, it's easy to lose focus, become distracted, or give in to doubt and fear. A vision provides direction, purpose, and energy. It's not just a vague idea of where you want to go, it's a vivid, emotionally charged picture of your future that acts as a guiding light, pulling you forward even when the path feels difficult or uncertain. Creating this vision starts with asking yourself deep, meaningful questions about what you truly want. What kind of life do you want to live? Who do you want to become? What impact do you want to make? The answers to these questions must come from within, not from societal expectations, comparisons, or external pressures. Your vision has to resonate with your core values and desires. Otherwise, it won't have the emotional power to drive you. Take the time to reflect, dream, and imagine without limitations. Let yourself see a version of your future that excites and inspires you. The next step is to make your vision as vivid as possible. A strong vision isn't just an abstract goal, it's a detailed mental experience. Picture yourself in that future. Where are you? What are you doing? Who are you with? And how does it feel? Engage all your senses. What does success look like, sound like, even smell like? The more specific and vivid your vision, the more real it becomes to your brain. This process taps into the power of your subconscious mind, which can't distinguish between vividly imagined experiences and reality. By repeatedly visualizing your desired future, you train your brain to believe it's achievable and align your actions to make it happen. But a vision alone is not enough. To truly anchor yourself in it, you must connect with it emotionally. This is where the power of feeling comes in. The vision of your future must evoke a strong emotional response, whether it's excitement, gratitude, pride, or a sense of fulfillment. These emotions create the energy you need to take action. When the pull of old habits or fear tries to hold you back, the emotional connection to your vision becomes the fuel that keeps you moving forward. It reminds you why the effort, discomfort, or risk is worth it. To keep your vision alive, you must revisit it regularly. Make it a daily practice to spend time connecting with your future self. This could be through meditation, journaling, or even speaking affirmations out loud. The more frequently you engage with your vision, the stronger its influence on your thoughts and actions. It becomes a part of who you are, a constant reminder of what you're working toward. This consistency builds momentum and makes it easier to align your decisions and behaviors with your long-term goals. Lastly, your vision is not static. As you grow and evolve, your vision should evolve with you. Stay open to refining and expanding it as you gain clarity and experience. This adaptability ensures your vision remains relevant and inspiring, continuously guiding you toward the life you want to create. When you are anchored in a vision that feels real, exciting, and deeply meaningful, it becomes almost impossible to remain stagnant. That vision will compel you to take action, step by step, until it becomes your reality. Leverage emotions over logic to drive action, because ultimately human behavior is not guided by rational thought alone, but by how we feel. Logic can give you reasons to act, but emotions provide the energy and urgency to move forward. This is why so many people know what they should do, but fail to do it. They rely solely on rational thinking, which often lacks the intensity needed to push past fear, resistance, or procrastination. To truly force yourself into action, you must tap into the emotional core of why it matters and allow that emotional power to propel you forward. Emotions have the ability to bypass the analytical part of your mind that tends to overthink and delay. When you link strong, positive emotions to the actions you need to take, those emotions create a sense of excitement, determination, or even necessity. Similarly, connecting negative emotions like regret, frustration, or dissatisfaction with staying stagnant can act as a powerful motivator. This isn't about manipulating yourself. It's about consciously directing your emotions to align with your goals rather than letting them keep you stuck. The first step in leveraging emotions is to connect deeply with your why. Why is taking this action important to you? Go beyond the surface level answers and dig into the core of what truly matters. For example, if your goal is to start a business, don't just focus on financial success. Ask yourself how achieving this will make you feel. Will it give you freedom, security, or the ability to provide a better life for your family? Will it help you leave a legacy, fulfill a dream, or prove to yourself what you're capable of? These emotional reasons are far more compelling than logical ones because they resonate with your heart and soul. Visualization is a powerful way to amplify these emotions. Close your eyes and imagine yourself taking the action you've been avoiding. Picture the positive outcome and, most importantly, feel it. What does it feel like to succeed, to overcome, to be proud of yourself for following through? Let those feelings wash over you. The stronger you can make this emotional connection, the more magnetic it becomes, pulling you toward the action you need to take. On the flip side, imagine the consequences of inaction. How will you feel if you stay where you are? Will you feel regret, disappointment, or frustration? Use these feelings as fuel to break through resistance. Another way to leverage emotions is to associate immediate pleasure with taking action. The human brain is wired to seek pleasure and avoid pain. If you can find a way to make the process itself enjoyable or rewarding, you'll be more likely to follow through. For instance, listen to your favorite music while exercising, treat yourself to a small reward after completing a task, or focus on the sense of accomplishment that comes from progress. Even small emotional incentives can create a positive feedback loop, making it easier to take the next step. Lastly, recognize that emotions are not static, they can be intentionally shifted. If you're feeling stuck or unmotivated, take a moment to change your emotional state. Move your body, play inspiring music, or think about a time when you overcame a challenge and felt unstoppable. These simple actions can quickly elevate your emotional energy, making it easier to take the first step. When you consistently leverage your emotions in this way, they become a powerful ally, driving you to act not because you have to, but because you're compelled to by the intensity of your inner desire. Picking small actions to create big momentum is one of the most effective ways to overcome inertia and force yourself into consistent motion. Often, the biggest obstacle to taking action is the overwhelming feeling of trying to tackle too much at once. When the goal seems too large or the task too complex, your brain perceives it as a threat, triggering procrastination or avoidance. The solution lies in breaking it down into manageable, bite-sized steps. These small actions, though seemingly insignificant, have the power to create a ripple effect that builds momentum, making it easier to take the next step and the one after that. Momentum is a powerful force. Once you get moving, even with the smallest step, it becomes easier to keep going. It's the principle of inertia. An object in motion tends to stay in motion. The same applies to your actions and behavior. By starting small, you bypass the resistance that often comes with big, intimidating goals. For example, if you're struggling to start a workout routine, commit to just putting on your workout clothes or doing 5 minutes of stretching. That small act lowers the mental barrier and gets you moving. Before you know it, you're more likely to complete a full workout because you've already started. Small actions are not just about convenience. They're about building confidence and reinforcing a sense of progress. Every time you take even the tiniest step forward, you send a message to yourself that you are capable of acting. This creates a positive feedback loop where action leads to accomplishment, and accomplishment motivates more action. Over time, this builds a reservoir of self-trust and belief in your ability to follow through. Even if the steps feel insignificant in the moment, they accumulate into meaningful progress. Another key to using small actions to build momentum is consistency. Taking one small step every day is far more effective than attempting to take a giant leap all at once and burning out. Consistency compounds over time, creating exponential growth. Think of it like planting seeds. Each small action is a seed that, with regular attention and care, grows into something much larger. Whether it's writing one sentence a day, saving a small amount of money each week, or having one focused conversation, the cumulative effect of consistent small actions is transformative. Small actions also create clarity. Often the reason we hesitate to act is that we don't know where to start or feel uncertain about the next step. Taking a small, immediate action helps cut through that confusion. It doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to move you forward. Action creates clarity because it forces you to engage with the process, revealing what works, what doesn't, and what the next step should be. This sense of discovery makes the journey less daunting and more manageable. Finally, small actions generate emotional momentum. Completing even the smallest task releases a sense of accomplishment and satisfaction, which fuels your motivation. This emotional boost, however minor, can be enough to carry you into the next step and beyond. Over time, this builds into a cycle where action feeds motivation, motivation feeds action, and the momentum becomes unstoppable. Through small, deliberate actions, you transform the overwhelming into the achievable and the impossible into progress. The power of self-discipline in taking action cannot be overstated. It's the ability to stay committed to your goals, even when motivation wanes or when you face obstacles that seem insurmountable. Discipline is what keeps you going when the initial excitement fades, when the path becomes challenging, and when your mind tells you to stop. While motivation is temporary and can fluctuate based on mood or circumstances, discipline is a constant force that propels you forward regardless of external factors. It's a skill that can be cultivated and strengthened, and once developed, it becomes a powerful ally in consistently taking action toward your goals. Discipline begins with creating structure in your life. This means developing routines that prioritize your most important goals, even when you don't feel like it. A structured approach to your day ensures that your time and energy are invested in activities that move you closer to your vision rather than being squandered on distractions or procrastination. It might start with something as simple as setting a clear schedule or having specific blocks of time dedicated to working on your goals. When you consistently follow a routine, it becomes easier to stay on track because the decision-making process is taken out of the equation. You don't have to debate with yourself whether or not you should work on your goal. You've already committed to doing it, and your schedule guides you through it. Another important aspect of self-discipline is managing your impulses and avoiding temptation. The human brain is wired to seek immediate rewards, often at the expense of long-term goals. Discipline means resisting the temptation to give in to short-term pleasures, such as checking your phone, binge-watching a series, or indulging in distractions that feel good in the moment but ultimately prevent progress. One of the most effective ways to strengthen discipline is to make the process of working toward your goal more rewarding. Instead of focusing on the discomfort or effort involved, reframe it so that you see the action itself as a reward. This might involve celebrating small wins, acknowledging progress, or simply reminding yourself how the effort aligns with your. Discipline also involves the ability to push through discomfort. Taking action is rarely easy, especially when you're stepping outside of your comfort zone. The process of growth involves facing fear, uncertainty, and resistance. But discipline teaches you to act despite these feelings. It's not about eliminating discomfort, but about continuing to move forward in the face of it. When you commit to doing something, even when it's hard, you build resilience and mental toughness. Each time you push through, you reinforce your belief in your ability to stay the course, which strengthens your overall discipline. Accountability plays a significant role in self-discipline as well. Having someone who holds you accountable, whether a mentor, friend, or colleague, can be a powerful motivator to stay disciplined. The act of reporting your progress to someone else creates a sense of responsibility that makes it harder to back out or procrastinate. You might even hold yourself accountable by tracking your progress using tools like journals or apps to track goals and milestones. These external reminders and checks make it easier to stay focused and motivated. Finally, discipline requires self-compassion. It's easy to become discouraged when you slip up or miss a day of progress, but rather than using that slip up as an excuse to give up, discipline teaches you to view it as part of the process. Rather than being harsh on yourself, acknowledge the misstep, learn from it, and refocus on your next action. It's the consistency of returning to the task at hand, not the perfection of never failing, that builds lasting discipline. When you cultivate self-discipline, you move from a place of reliance on fleeting motivation to one of unwavering action. Discipline allows you to keep working toward your goals day in and day out, even when the excitement fades or the results are not immediate. Over time, this consistency compounds, leading to incredible progress and achievement. Discipline becomes the bridge between your desires and your reality, propelling you to take consistent action regardless of the circumstances. Taking action is not about waiting for the perfect moment or relying on fleeting bursts of motivation. It's about mastering your mind, breaking free from old habits, and consciously choosing to act, even when resistance feels strong. By anchoring yourself in a clear, emotionally charged vision, leveraging the power of small, consistent actions, and cultivating self-discipline, you create a foundation for sustained progress. The key to moving forward is not perfection or instant results. It's the willingness to step outside of your comfort zone, disrupt old patterns, and keep going even when the path isn't easy. Every step, no matter how small, builds momentum, and with time, this momentum propels you toward the life you truly desire. Embrace discomfort, harness your emotions, and take those first steps. You have the power within you to create lasting change, and every action you take brings you closer to the person you are meant to become. Thank you.